we are coming closer and closer to the exam. So
Yes.
I think your mind should be always in the farm now.
Yes.
From now onwards, it's all should be about the milk and the cheese and the butter, and walking and talking with the Andersons. What I did was last time you remember last Saturday when we did that third part of the mock that we were doing. So that's
Yeah.
over now. So I'm thinking always because you remember in the pre-scene about 7-8 pages were devoted
Yeah.
to that Kevin's proposal. Kevin
Yeah.
proposal has, even though Kevin says, which he says rightly, y'all don't have
Mm.
money, y'all don't have
Yeah.
time to join me. Uh,
Mm.
However, having said that one, that for the examiner to give that proposal, it means it has something in it. And
Yes.
I saw in it was that it's very less capital intensive, that project. Almost half of or 70% of our money they can do it, right? The capital
Yeah.
4,800 and 8,800 or something per cow the investment. The income also hardly a difference. In fact, slightly they are better than ours, 438 and 418 or something like that, income per cow,
Yeah.
right? So, and also if you really see, people will be more happy with that Kevin's kind of a proposal because today somehow the society, even though the pay particle says that it has no additional nutritional value, all that it's a matter of choice, people are going for this organic food all the time.
Mm. Yeah.
All over, I think the vendors are exploiting that. I also did not realize till this article I saw it in this one. In fact, I want to do a research on this thing, whether this what we call organic can we eat, whether it has something meaningful or whether we are just paying a price for something nothing. Because I remember when my daughter was sick, even now, we buy the vegetables, or what they call organic vegetables, paying almost
Yeah.
double the price.
Yes.
Eggs double the price. We buy it because we think it is something better. But this article,
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether it is only related to this case study or whether it is the factual situation. What they say, yeah, what they say is when they say organic, still they can have 5% or something like that. Fully organic, something,
Mm.
something. So we also don't know. We
Yeah.
just go and buy. When they say organic, we just go and buy it, right?
Yes.
So anyway, whatever said and done, the people's perception is organic food is better.
Yes.
You remember long time back, doctors were saying the eggs are bad for cholesterol. Now the doctors are saying eggs are good for cholesterol. Different times. Hmm? They they they
Yes.
they change their hats and they say different things. We also sort of go on eating eggs, not eating eggs, all those things, at different
Yeah.
time. So we also don't know about these things, but generally people are quite content, happy to have organic food.
Yes.
So from that angle, I think Kevin's proposal has lot either for us to get knowledge and maybe a thinking of a change in strategy.
Yes.
Remember, I don't know whether I shared with you these financial statements. I always thought it is 30 the 1 year before, but
But
yesterday,
it is
last week,
actually.
yeah, last week when we were reading, I saw it. It is just this year.
Yes.
This year, 30th of November 2016, even before the year end, they have prepared the financial statements. Did you notice that one? The
I didn't really notice till you mentioned
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Sorry, because I noticed it. Actually, I was reading this paper a lot of time, but I never realized. Normally, always in the case study, the examiner gives the financials before your exam date. But here, if you
Mm.
really look at
Yes.
this one, this is the first time I noticed this one. I think I did not share this one with you. This financial. This is for the year 30th November 2016. When are you going to sit for the exam?
23rd.
23rd. So
Yeah.
you are sitting on the 23rd. Financial statements are for the 30th November, 7 days ahead.
Yeah, so probably it must be a forecast or something.
It's an estimated one. It's a forecasted one, right? You can do it. I mean, by 23rd of November, you know the kind of scenario, but surely it's not audited financial statements.
No.
Yeah.
It's probably a that they've put in.
Yeah. So it's a draft financial statement, right?
Yeah.
It's a draft financial statement, and you have to be mindful of the fact you are not preparing financial statements, although you are a CIMA qualified accountant. You are doing strategy work and special projects. There may be others, the Max Anderson and the others preparing. We have no background, know-how, knowledge about them, whether they are professionally qualified or something like that. But I have a serious reservation on these financial statements. I want you to look at some figures that we have, 2015 and 2016 on the balance sheet. These figures, loans under non-current liabilities, loans under current liabilities. Now, what is normally shown under current liability of the loan is the capital component of the loan, what we have to pay next year. Isn't it? According to our presentation, financial statement presentation, the total loan amount we have to split between non-current liability and the current liability. What is current liability is what we have to pay next year. Now, look at the figure. 30th of November 2015, it is 4.5 million. 4.2 plus 300,000.
Yeah.
30th of November 2016, 3.2 million and 233,000. 3.5 million. So how much have they paid during the year?
1 million.
1 million. But then why are they showing 300,000 in the last balance sheet? Can you see? If we have paid 1 million during the year, last balance sheet should have shown 1 million.
Yes.
Under current liabilities. And they should have shown under non-current liabilities 3.5 million. Isn't it? When you have paid 1 million installment this year, that should have been shown as a current liability last year. So the last year 4.5 million breakdown should have been 3.5 million non-current liabilities and 1 million current liabilities. But you can see they have shown only 300,000. So prima facie, the financial statements are wrong. Financial statements are not properly presented because we are never told they are the audited statements. So we are going by certain statements given by the company, but we can see prima facie it's wrong. So I'm telling you this one because sometimes there may be a question on this area because this can have a massive impact on the bankers and all the others. If you remember, if they have shown a current liability of 1 million last year, this balance sheet would have been totally different. The current assets are 338 last year. And if they have shown another 700,000, the current liabilities would have been 1,242,000. 338 current assets, 1,242 current liabilities. The banks would have really got excited. So this may be a deliberate attempt. I'm not sure, but it may be a deliberate attempt because these do happen in private companies. Private companies are companies that they can do whatever they want it. It's because they are not listed, they are not regulated, so they can do it. So particularly you being a CIMA qualified accountant, when you interpret these statements, if you come across this kind of a thing, and if you don't expose this kind of a thing in whatever the forum, you might be found to be at wrong with professional competence.
Yes.
So there may be sometimes they would have told, hey, Marian, don't talk about it because, we have done it to show to the bank a better picture. Otherwise, the banks, because if they have shown a 1 million current liability, the banks would have really got excited and, they were, so what are you
Yes.
doing? How can you manage this company? All that kind of a situation. And we
Mm.
see how they have paid the 1 million is by selling assets.
Yes.
Selling assets. So we do not know what the assets what they sold, whether it was really something which they had it in excess, or whether in order to raise money, whether they have sold something because they had to raise money, some asset which they were
Yes.
using properly, whether they have sold it. Because we can see property, plant and equipment from 13 million, it has come down to 12 million.
Yes.
13,143, 13,140, 12.2. So they have sold something which is at least in the book value. We do not know whether they bought any assets, but the
Mm.
net difference is about 900,000 in book value.
Yeah.
And unless they have sold it at the same book value, there has to be a profit or loss on disposal of assets. So in
Yeah.
the P&L, we don't see any figure like that. If you look at the P&L, profit or loss statement, you don't see any profit or loss on sale of assets.
That's right.
Isn't it? Because normally the profit or loss on sale of assets should be shown separately. But we see
Yeah.
nothing like that. So either, of course, it is possible that they have sold it exactly at the book value. So no profit, no loss on the transaction. Or they have,
So
mhm.
does that mean that it's like they're really desperate for the money and therefore
But
the
then, sorry,
as a it's a sign that they're desperate.
they just
They are desperate.
desperate.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
For the money.
Definitely,
Yeah.
they seem to be in a very desperate situation. Profits are
Yeah.
coming down. They have a huge loan to pay. Maybe deliberately they have prepared the financial statements in such a way not to expose their true position. Maybe because of the bad position, the bank has demanded that they pay something and they had to sell some assets. You are right, exactly. This is a company that is in a desperate situation.
Yes.
It is in a desperate because their profits are coming down, right? Their prices are coming down. All that is happening, family concern. They are paying huge amount of interest, finance charges. Last year they have paid 336,000. They have paid this year they have paid 261,000. So during the 2 years they have paid about almost 397, 600,000 interest alone. Hmm?
Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot, isn't it? That's a lot. Out of the
Mm.
profit what they have made, they have paid a big interest. So you can see this company is a company that is really in cash in. I hope you have not joined this company long time back. If you have joined this company a long time back, and if you are still the strategist, you have failed in your
Yeah.
duty. But
Yeah.
having said that one, this is the reality variant. In family concerns, even though we are SEMA qualified, all that, it's not very easy for you to perceive the things with them in the manner that we normally can do in a listed company.
Mm.
Because the family, if the father, mother, son, daughter, they will say, look here, we have done this thing for the last 15 years, right? And what are you coming and telling us about these strategies and all that? I have worked in this type of companies. It's very, very difficult to change their mind till they collapse,
That's right.
till they see stars. So you are in a very difficult position in a company like this. So you have to
Mm.
remember that the financial statements itself may not be properly, fairly presentable. It may be a comment that you may want to make it somewhere if they talk about the financial statements or the finances.
Mm.
Sometimes one of the directors might ask, or the bank might ask the directors, and the directors might ask you, how come that when you show 300,000, you have paid 1 million, or the liability has come down to 1 million by 1 million,
Mm.
and how you financed it, right? So, So you have to keep on pressing on that kind of a thing. So these are some of the things I found from the financial. And one thing I think I was all the time thinking uh, the financial statements are 1 year back. But what we now know is it is the latest, in fact, latest, much even before the finances year ends. So as we are just about in the financial year, we will have only 60,000 something in the bank balance, and we will have a profit reduced by almost 277, 123, more than half reduction in the profit. So time for you to think of a strategic change. You can't go for another 1 year in this scenario. And I have a doubt this year's financial statements, when they show a non-current liability of 233, I have a doubt. I believe, I don't know, maybe they have wrongly present in the accounts because due to lack of knowledge, they may be putting the current year's the next year's interest amount as a current liability. I see a lot of students doing this mistake. Right, without putting the loan amount, they might be putting the interest amount, which is wrong. Interest amount, we don't do anything. Interest, we charge it to the P&L in the year.
Yeah.
So anyway, keep that in mind because this is something which I spotted. I believe in one of the variants it may be there. What I was trying to tell you was that because of this kind of a scenario, the company needs a very, very strong urge, strong force to change the strategy. So last mock, now you have to remember one thing, we did a mock 3 day, the three sessions last time, but now that is gone. Now I don't want you to carry to your exam room the Milko company.
Okay.
So that is something what we did as a mock, because I see some students, after doing about 6 or 7 mocks, they are so, in that one they take that part of it and they say, why Wilco we are manufacturing cheese, no? Now that is gone. Right? We may not get Milko, we may got Cadbury's or something the next one. So we have to forget, we have to completely forget. We have learned something out of it, but that era is gone. So today we are starting a new mock, and that is, I believe, the Kevin's proposal. I have a lot of things on that one. I think we need to think about Kevin's proposal, Kevin's plan, and see whether we can implement it here. Right? Because they are 80 kilometers away, so there is no harm in we trying to do Kevin's thing. If we can copy the Kevin's one, if we can do something. Large corporates, they go on this more intensive methods, farming. Large corporate. I suppose they can do it. But small farmers, I think better maybe to go for the less intensive, this glazing kind of farming. These are the bigger shows. 300 cows, maybe 1,600 cows. I think that may be a better thing because 300 cows, we have 400 cow, 4 farms. We may be in a better, the large farms, because they can't find the local area of land. I think the Kevin's proposal needs more land for cows to move about, but it reduces lot of risk of sicknesses. It is very good with the public environmental conception. It is very good for the public because you are not going to give too much of antibiotics for the cows, right? And also probably you can get higher prices for at least for a shorter period. I mean, we know in our generation, at least for next 3-4 years, this organic food is still something new coming up. With, till a big doctor comes and says something, people will go for these days. Today I saw something on the WhatsApp. Some person has sent me a message saying Wi-Fi is very dangerous. Wi-Fi is a life killer. Right? So all the people are coming out with all kind of research, but we use Wi-Fi very heavily now. My grandchildren are using, I'm using, the whole family is using. We are now used to Wi-Fi. Our Prime Minister says every citizen must have Wi-Fi. But today I saw something coming up from somewhere saying Wi-Fi is a life killer. Who knows? So these people, tomorrow they will say, no, it's not so. The doctors are also playing. All these people are playing games. We are the audience watching all these games. paying lots of money, sometimes even with our life. Right. So what I did was I thought about this one. I prepared a mock. I'm going to discuss. I'll send you this question just after this thing. But here it's about this our. I don't know whether we discussed this question with you. Let me see whether we had discussed this question. But Kevin's proposal, did we discuss a question with you about a merger and something like that?
Yes.
I think we discussed it, right?
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, we discussed. I had discussed this. Yes, I want to look at another one. Give me a minute. Yeah, integration merger. Just a second, Maria.
Okay.
Yeah, we discussed the first part of Kevin's one about the merger, right? So I want to go beyond that one today. You remember what we discussed about this? Kevin came and told about this proposal to our uh, Joelin, and Joelin spoke to you, said that he has not even discussed with Susan at the moment.
That's right. Yeah.
And we discussed this one, and it was all about it's a sound project, could we achieve synergies, and I think we discussed that part of the story. Now the next part of that story is about that one is another one. I'm going to tell this one with you. Yeah, yeah. Here it's a totally new one. I'm going to go on the ethical ones now, right? So yeah, received the
Yeah.
following email from the Archie, that is our husband, right? So tax avoidance by Santosh. I'm forwarding you an email from a journalist. It came in via Max, who passed it to me. Some of the basic facts in the in the draft are correct. Right? We do have an arrangement with a part-time internal auditor who is also a tax consultant to refer many of our friends to her for tax consultancy. Our internal auditor Jane, who is a CIMA qualified accountant, pay a commission for such referrals, and it is not shown in our ADF books, and we share amongst the members, and we do not pay taxes on such commissions. Santosh is a celebrity in the music field, and he's also a big investor in many business projects, and we have approached him to make an investment in ADF to take a 49% stake so that we could ease out our financial distress. So you can again see this company is desperate. They have to do
Yeah.
something. So now they are thinking they can't keep the 90%, 100% kind of a thing. So they are definitely thinking what they can do with the kind of scenario what they are facing, right? So we have not referred Santosh to jail, but we know he is a big time tax evader. So you can see where we are heading. We are going to ask a person whom we know that is a big time tax evader, right? So these music celebrities, yes, we know they are making a lot of money entertaining us, but they don't want to pay the taxes. Right? So I would like you to address the following issues, and I need your reply as a matter of some urgency. Could we be accused behaving unethically with respect to referring clients to Jane and earning commissions? Remember, Jane is our internal auditor. We send all our
Yes.
friends to, when I meet, I say, Mary, and here there's a good, tax this person, and you can go and get it. So when you go and get the thing, she will ask for a fee. Out of that fee,
Yeah.
she's paying us something, and we don't put it in the company ADF accounts. and we just share it amongst ourselves, right? The father, mother, and the children. Right. Please draft a response that we can submit to Frederica. Please also give an explanation for the board as how you will address the fact that the drafted paper clearly makes us appear unethical. We will consider your draft related to comments at tomorrow's family meeting before submitting anything. Right? So let's look at Frederica's article. So this is not about the article. She's writing to finance director. She's a journalist in Highland Daily News. So remember, Highland Daily News has put up certain articles in the papers. So this is regarding tax avoidance. I'm seeking a response from ADM concerning the proposed investment of celebrity Santosh. We have established evidence that Santosh has been investing heavily in farming business and subsequently writing them as losses to avoid paying taxes on the considerable wealth that he has amassed from his show business career. Because this agriculture business is something where you can just write off all the amounts because they are not nothing tangible. No, you can just write off the fertilizer and all that. You can just write off lot of things. So that is what he has been doing. So he has been investing and showing it as a loss and writing off. We believe Santosh has been invited by ADF to take up a 49% stake and that we have referred him to our internal auditor to seek guidance and how to avoid taxes on his way. So remember our Joelin says we have not referred this person to our J. And we have referred many others, but not Santosh. When researching this story, I posed as a potential investor and approached Jane, who is known to be a specialized in offering tax avoidance advice to many business ventures in Highland. Typical reporters way, right? They get self-disguised and they go and speak to Jane and say, I'm a business person, something, and it's fine word. And getting advice. Jane admitted that she has a large clientele of business entities where she offers tax avoidance schemes and specifically mentioned ADF directors and also said ADF directors refer many of their friends to Jane for tax advice and said she makes a commission to ADF for all the clients referred. So Jane has really gone out of town and fully messed up the matters for Anderson, right? So Jane, when this reporter came as a disguised person, as a business person, she would have wanted to canvas. So she would have told, I'm getting a lot of business. ADF people are bringing me all business and this, that, and yeah. So you can even at this moment, you must think whether she's fit to be an internal auditor. Internal auditor must be a person who can do an internal independent review. When she's depending on Anderson's for businesses, can we think? Can we think of his being internal auditor, external auditor? So you can imagine the financial statements in that kind of a scenario. Yes, sufficient evidence to support every fact, and my draft article is ready for publication in next Monday's paper. I'm writing in order to give the ADF opportunity to respond if it wishes to do so, or the article will run regardless. So she says whether you respond it or not, I'm putting the article. And you can imagine when this article come up in papers, what kind of this thing it will have on the company. I will record comments within 48 hours. Otherwise, I will run the story as it stands. So, Frederica Jens, chief reporter, Highland Daily News. Serious incident, isn't it? We have asked a person called Santosh to come and join us. He's a big time celebrity. We know he's investing. He's going for tax avoidance evading schemes. We have another separately independent unrelated thing. We have our internal auditor to whom we send our friends and the relations and everything for tax avoidance. And she gets a commission. She gives us a commission. We don't disclose it in our financial statements. We don't pay taxes on those commissions. All that. This is all what can happen in a family concern. I worked in a company, that man was making a lot of money by doing something and the company was showing big losses, but he always had big money. to see he was doing some other business, taking the company name and doing some business in Singapore, making a lot of money, but that money never came into the company accounts, using the company name. When you say ADF, it's a big name. So you use that name, but you don't bring that money. So the poor employees don't get anything. It's some kind of a different out of uh, pocket arrangement, something like that, and it goes on. So here, now we have to look at, could we be accused of behaving unethically with respect to referring clients to Jane and earning commissions? So this is your first issue, what we have to look at.
Yes.
Could we be?
My response would be, that first of all, we to just refer clients to Jane. There's nothing wrong with it. However, the fact that we take commission from her, it's against the independence clause for internal auditors, and that is unethical. And then also the fact that we take commission and we don't report it in our accounts, it's also breaches integrity. The integrity principle of the code of ethics. So that as well, is unethical.
I think it's a good way that you started it. It's because you will probably say your answer. We will say it's a very difficult question. Legally, there is nothing wrong, right? Legally, there is nothing wrong referring people to Jane. There is nothing wrong. But however, there can be some kind of breach of social norms. So this is a good point to use our SIMA code of ethics, because on SIMA code of ethics we appear to be acting somewhat in breach of some of the SIMA code of ethics.
Yes.
Integrity, for example, it requires us to be straightforward and honest. So getting commissions, not disclosing it to tax, is dishonesty. Using the company, if you are using the company name and getting money and not putting it into the company financials is also not integrity. If you are using the company name. If you are personally, if Max is going and Archie is going and telling the friends and doing, then it's not necessary you to put the company into the account. But they have to pay taxes if they get it.
Yes.
Right? So, we can basically argue that we have behaved with integrity because we take simply client's instructions and then, we forward it, we take our friends' needs and we refer it to our Jane, that kind of a thing. But we have to be mindful. Internal auditor need to be independent. True enough, she's not the external auditor, internal auditor reports to us, but still for all, she must have that independency. So when she is dependent on our clients and when we are dependent on her commissions, that independence is completely gone.
Yeah.
So, I think we are somewhat in an unethical scenario here. Unethical scenario. Law-wise, we may be wrong in not disclosing it for tax purposes, the commission earned. But considering the social norms, using the internal auditor should be an independent person. Giving her business is all right, but taking commissions from her is not all right. We can always refer. I mean, I have referred many of my friends to some audit firm or whatever my friends. That's a different story. But if I try to get a commission from that audit firm, then that is not right. And particularly if I'm using the company name, to get that commission and not putting it to the company accounts.
That's right.
Otherwise, you must disclose it. You must disclose it and say, we are doing work with related party disclosures, we can do it.
Yeah.
Related party disclosures, we can do it, and we can say we are working with this company and all that kind of a thing is something like that. Getting a commission could be somewhat undermine SIMA code of ethics on the objectivity.
Yeah.
Right. SIMA code of ethics. SIMA code of ethics on the objectivity. Because they might feel that it's advantageous to refer to the clients and that kind of a thing. So as far as I think the thing, that's how we should look at. There's a question of integrity. There's a question of objectivity, and also there's a question of professional behavior.
Yeah.
Because if you are a kind of a popular kind of a choice for our Jane, where she's getting a lot of business, then we will become very attractive to her, and that may lead to her not doing a proper internal audit, because internal audit is something that is done for the internal. You can argue it is mostly for the board of directors, but surely still the internal audit reports will be used. Particularly, we have a bank loan. We have a bank loan and all that kind of a thing, and therefore we have to be very careful with that scenario. So that's how I will look at on that one. Anything else you can think of on that? So I think the best way to start off saying it is a difficult scenario to look at. Legally, there is nothing wrong, except we may be wrong in not paying taxes. You may be wrong, directors may be wrong in not paying taxes. Having said that one, you may have other scenarios. The SIMA code of ethics can be applied. And SIMA code of ethics, we have the problem of integrity, we have the problem of objectivity, we have the problem of professional competence. Professional behavior.
Yeah.
So, and getting that internal audit to do that kind of a work on a commission basis is something that, you probably will recommend to stop for doing all those things, or do it, disclose it.
Yes.
Disclose it. Bring it into accounts and disclose it. Second part, please draft a response that we can submit to Frederica. Please also give an explanation for the board as to how you will address the fact that draft clearly makes us appear unethical. We will consider a draft and related comments at tomorrow's meeting before submitting anything. So Frederica says whatever, whether you submit it or not, I'm going to publish it. Right? So, but our Joelyn is asking is, Archie is asking, please give an explanation for the draft a response. First of all, we have to draft a response.
Yeah.
So, press is something very important. So we must start thanking Frederica for giving us an opportunity to respond to this article. Yeah. She could have easily done it without telling us anything. But her coming back and telling us itself is a good thing. So we must start drafting the response on that way. We can submit to, we welcome the opportunity to respond to this article.
Yeah.
Right. So what we would look at is about Santosh. We will say about the allegations concerning Santosh or anyone else for that matter with respect to tax or law or whatever it is, and we don't want to comment about it because it's about a third party,
Yes.
But we can say we have never referred Santosh to jail.
That's right. Yeah.
Right? So long as we are saying what is truth, Archie is saying, so you have to believe Archie what he says, and you can say we have never referred Santosh to our internal auditor Jane for any advice, and it would not be appropriate for us to comment on the alleged allegations concerning Santosh or anyone else with respect to the tax or tax laws, because the tax laws are complicated and the rules can be a matter for the government.
Yeah.
And there are kind of legally possible tax avoidance schemes, and there are illegal tax evasion schemes, but we are unable to comment on a third party's thing because we are no way involved with that one. Right? So that is what we should say about the thing, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't want to get into a controversy saying yes, Santosh is a tax evader or Santosh is not a tax evader or something, because he's a completely a third party.
Yeah.
And we have to say we are acting within the law, because we are not supposed to talk about a third party unless we know something about it. It is very well known in the society, it's another story, right? But we are not involved in it. So then we have to say we acknowledge that we need an investment for our company, and we have approached, we have to be very truthful. We have approached this man Santosh, who is known to be investing in farming business.
Yeah.
Right? So so as a responsible company, we have to think of new investment opportunities, and we have invited Santosh to for a 49% stake in our company.
Yeah.
Right. So that will basically give the people, yes, it's true. We have asked, but we do not know whether he is involved in immoral activities or all that kind of a thing. That scenario. Then we can say, as far as James matters are concerned, yes, we do earn a commission for successful referrals. Right? We do earn a commission, because we have to admit we can't be hiding.
Yes.
Right? We
That's
can't.
right. Yeah.
We can't be hiding. We have to admit we do this kind of a thing, but it is done on a small scale kind of a scenario, we can say, and therefore it was not reflected in the company's financial statements. But we have now taken advice from our external auditors, we can say, and we will do the appropriate right thing in the next period or something like that.
Okay.
We can always say before the 30th November financials ends, we will look at this one and we will do the appropriate right thing. Okay. So that way, you are trying to, even if she puts up the article, we are trying to soften the thing, because we say, yes, we have admit we have done something wrong, and we will correct it. A lot of people do wrong things. The thing is, sometimes they don't like to admit it. So we can say, yes, we are going to correct it.
Yeah.
Right? So these are the points that I think I should be including as far as the Frederica's response is concerned. This is what we should be looking at. Anything else that you can edit up? I believe something more you can edit up on this particular draft, because it's a serious thing. And we have to say, yes, we are very thankful that you have given us an opportunity to respond to all that. It is all right. And about Santosh's thing, we can say, yes, we have invited, but we don't want to comment about his behavior. But we can very specifically say we have not referred him to our Jane. As to Jane, we can say, yes, we have referred many of our friends, and she has been as a matter of making commission. But we are thankful to you for enlightening us on this matter, and we have now referred it to our consultants, advisors, and appropriate action will be done to rectify if we have done anything wrong, and even to pay any areas of taxes. We will take up the matter with the tax authority. That kind of a response will make the company much more strong.
Yeah.
So these are the things that we should be looking. So these ethical questions, whenever ethical question comes, try to think about the SIMA code of ethics all the time. Try to look at the 5 provisions: integrity, confidentiality, objectivity, professional behavior, professional competence, and see how we can work out in each of the areas. And some of the things you may not even want to disclose, because sometimes most of the students, what they do is they write the SIMA code of ethics. That is not what is expected.
No.
That is not what is expected about the SIMA code of ethics. Inviting Santosh is not something, but we know he is a big time taxi man. That's a bit of a tricky one.
Yes. So to be associated with somebody like that.
No, that's a tricky one. That's a tricky one. But we can't tell the press about it, because we know, even though we know, he's not proved by the court or something like that. In that case, it's a different story.
That's
right?
So we cannot,
we cannot condemn a man. We know he's a big time tax evader. But so because of that, we cannot comment on that to the press. But you might want to tell the board to take additional care when you know that he is a big time tax evader. Your company reputation can get disrupted in a big way if you get associated knowing that he is a big time evader.
Yeah.
If you did not know, then it's a different story. And to give him a 49% stake in a company, in our company, knowing that he is a big time evader is going to be a massive thing on the reputation.
Yeah.
Finally we might see losing our customers. The customers may not want to associate with a company who is having a big time tax evader.
That's right, yeah.
The supermarkets may not buy our products at all. Some of our employees, of course, we don't have very high caliber kind of people. But you might want to put it up in a very, very mild way and say, even as a SIMA professional qualified accountant, I might find it difficult to associate myself in a senior position with a person like that in the board. You can't stop it, but you can warn, because you have to protect your own professional integrity. Professional integrity in all the manners, because you can leave this company and join another company, but surely you have to maintain that situation. So I think that's another additional thing that you will come up. This is for the strategic case study. It's not only specifically addressing something you as a leadership quality, something which you see out of it, which is not specifically requested, but surely that statement, we are not prepared, but we know he's a big time evader, prompts you to advise your board in good faith, you must disassociate. You can say that I'm happy that we are offering some person 49% to expand the company, but may not be this person. But that may not be good enough. You may want to think of, if you are not going to get Santosh, because the board will be very disappointed. Santosh is one man who is prepared to come. Now you say he is not good. What is our next step? What is our next step going to be? Now that's also very important, isn't it? You can't just tell the board that, please don't go with Santosh. But you have to, then they will ask, okay, Marian, what are you proposing? You know our company is making losses, right? Our company is going down very badly. We need investments. We need to go into some different kind of a thing. We need finances. Right? So, certainly the banks are not the right party. We can. But who is the next financier? We learned it in F2 time, F3 time. The other financiers. Who are the other financiers we have? Long-term kind of financiers.
We can find another private equity investor.
A private equity investor, isn't it? We can look at private equity investor. We can look at venture capitalist. Isn't it?
Yes.
So you must always, when you make a recommendation, now here the recommendation is not to go with Santosh. Justification is the company reputation, and then give an action plan what we should do. So we can approach private equity partners and venture capitalists to join us, and probably to think of going for a listing in the distant future. Because I think this company need that kind of a thing.
Yes.
If there was it will be too much of a what should I say? It will be too much of a blunt thing to say we must sell the company, right? We cannot run the company. But if there was some slight indication that some person is interested in buying the company, I would go along with that one. But to tell that to the owners who have been the owners for 150 years, you need a big heart, right? It can disappoint them so much. But if they indicate something like that, saying that we are thinking of selling it, what do you think? I think your advice will be, yes, it's time for us to say that we dispose this business. We can go our way, or we can join with another company, and that's a good thing. If we can find another, I think it's a good way. You can think about that one. You can think of joining with one of the large corporates.
Yes.
We can invite some other large corporate to take over our company. Not to take over our company, not to pay money for us to send us home, but to give shares of that company, exchange the shares. So we become shares of that company, shareholders of that company, and we can run this company with their advice, with their money, rather than getting Santosh into the board. Understand?
Yes.
So this is a good question. This is some thinking for us to make on the ethical issue, because always in SIMA we will have the ethics coming up. So I think it's a good question. So what I would think is, again, for you now, start drafting some replies and do it. So this question was very good, because there were certain things wrong, certain things not perfectly wrong, not in the legal term, some things which we can do, which we cannot do. So a lot of thinking will go. When you start writing, you will find some beautiful things coming out of for a question like this. Look at this one. And so we are meeting again on Wednesday,
Yes.
Wednesday we will make it at 6 o'clock same time, and I'll work out the mock and send it to you, and we will look at. I will send you this mock course for you now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I'll see you at 6 o'clock on Wednesday, Marian.
Okay, thank you. Kumar, did you send me the recording?
Actually, I missed it, but I'm now just recording it.
Okay.
Say in about another few minutes time it should be there, because I think I'm just recording
okay.
I think it just got recorded, so I should be able to send it now. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, take care.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.